And we're going to find a nice, comfortable seated position. Nice soft shoulders, close the eyes, resting the face. And just arrive on the yoga mat this evening. And tonight we're going to be just taking it easy, easing ourselves into postures and movements. Not doing anything that doesn't feel nourishing. So if there's any postures you're just not into this evening, then feel free to just come out of them or just take anything that serves you this evening. We're going to start with a little bit of movement and just to make sure we're all warm. And I've got this new candle and it's crackling. I'm going to blow that out just in case I set the house on fire. That'd be an interesting Zoom video. So we're going to warm up the shoulders, warm up the hips, just get a little bit of energy flowing, and then we're going to use that warmth to ease into the joints. So we're going to get the hips a little more relaxed, get a bit more space, ease out the shoulder blades, and hopefully get you ready for bed. So in our seated position, we're just going to turn the palms up to face the sky for a moment. Relaxing the arms, relaxing the fingers, closing the eyes or just having a soft gaze. And just arrive at the breath. Feeling the inhale coming in through the nose and the exhale going out through the nose. And just finding the breath and doing whatever sort of fidgets or movement we need to do, adjusting the clothes, moving the shoulders, and then seeing if we can come into stillness with a nice long spine, soft chest. And as you start to notice the breath, seeing if we can slow it down, keeping the inhale and the exhale at a nice even pace. So a few moments you might even count your breath in and count it out. And everybody's count will be different. Seeing if you can keep those numbers even. Breathing in for 4, breathing out for 4, or maybe 6. Find that even keel of breath. Easing the jaw, letting the teeth come away from each other, letting the tongue rest heavy in the mouth. You're going to take the fingertips to the floor and just keeping the eyes closed if you can, if that's comfortable for you. We're going to inhale, lift the arms nice and gently. As you exhale, you're going to twist to the right hand side. Left hand comes to the right knee. Inhale, lift the arms up, come back to centre. Exhale, twist into the left. Inhale, come to centre. Exhale, twist. Inhale, up to centre. Exhale, twist. Keep it going with your breath. So just move at your own pace. You might be slower or faster than I move. Not worrying about the pace, but just keeping it nice and fluid. Moving breath and body together. Maybe each twist taking it a little deeper. Noticing where there's resistance, where there's space. Taking just a few more twists in your own time. We're keeping the breath even and steady. There's no ujjayi breath this evening. And the next time you come to center, just lift the arms up, lift out of the hips, and then yawn it away. So wiggle the wrists, wiggle the fingers. Take that. Oh, yawn if you need to. Shake the arms. And then we're going to move over to your hands and knees. So finding the knees underneath the hips, hands underneath the shoulders. And if you do want to go a little more gentle this evening, just roll the mat over and have the hands a little more cushioned. Same with the knees. Pop a blanket underneath. Make everything super comfortable. Spread the fingers, and then we're going to move through some really nice fluid cat-cow movements to get that energy going. So starting gazing down to the ground, we're going to inhale, lift the head, drop the belly. Exhale, round the back, let the head go heavy. Inhale, lift it up. Exhale, round. Inhale, lift it up. Exhale, round. Start to take it with your own breath. So using your inhale to come up, using your exhale to round as much as feels good. And then we're going to just move on intuition. So if it feels like you want to sort of wiggle from side to side, then move the way your body's asking. If you want to round the spine and bring the bottom down, little stretch, and just listen to the body. Do what feels good for you right now. You might just nod the head, swing it down, roll it from side to side. And then slowly bringing yourself back to center. Finding your tabletop position once again. We're going to drop down onto the forearms. So we're still keeping the elbows underneath the shoulders, but now the hands are spread and they're soft into the floor. We're going to tuck the toes under and very gently lift the bottom. We're coming into dolphin posture. We're just going to walk out the legs a little, so just bending one knee then the other. Allowing the head to be heavy. We're warming up the shoulders and opening up the legs. And then bring it to stillness. See if you can stay there with the bottom high for just a couple of breaths. And then bringing the knees down. Drop the bottom to the heels. Come into an extended child's pose so the arms are stretched long. Forehead to the floor or a cushion if you prefer. And then let's inhale. Come back up to tabletop. Do feel free to sit back. Give the arms a little move. See how that feels. And then coming back into your tabletop position. From here, we're going to come to thread the needle. So let's get twisting and really unwinding the body. So hands under the shoulders, we're going to lift the right arm up. Take a nice deep inhale, and then as you exhale, thread it under the body. Send it as far away as feels good. Resting the head down. And again, you can choose to rest on a cushion. It's Sunday evening, it's all about being comfortable, allowing the body to move in a way that serves you. If you want a little extra twist, push that left hand into the floor. Send the body round. See if we can breathe into this. Rest in here just for a few more breaths. And when you're ready, really spreading that left hand and pushing yourself up back to center. So this time left arm comes up. Take a lovely long inhale. As you exhale, thread it under the body, resting the head and the shoulders to the ground. Gently pushing that right hand into the floor. Sending the left fingertips as far away as you can. Find the edge. You can feel nice to keep the eyes closed here. Find that balance between effort and release. When we're ready, we're going to push into that right hand. Start to unwind the body. Bring yourself back to tabletop. And once again, just listen to the body. What needs to happen? Some cat-cow tilts, maybe with a little extra movement. Lovely. And then bringing yourself to tabletop position. We're going to tuck the toes under and very briefly come into a little downward facing dog. You're going to take 3 breaths there. And you can keep the knees nice and bent, really just sending the sitting bones high. And then we're going to release the knees back to the ground once we've taken 3 breaths. Flatten out the toes. From here, we're going to move into a pigeon pose. So walking the hands just slightly forward. We're then going to slide the right knee up to the right wrist. And you really want to make that connection. And then start to move that right foot as if it was going to go over and touch the left wrist. Now you might have sort of a nice parallel leg to the top of your mat. You might very much not. It really depends on your hip joints. So find where your pigeon sits. And the key here is to maybe walk that foot backwards if you need to release a little bit more to the ground. And see if you can keep your hips even. So if you feel like you're leaning over to the right or even leaning a little bit to the left, imagine the center point of the pelvis being pulled to the floor. Adjust, move, flex the right toes just gently so that we're protecting the knee. And then let's start to move it down if and when you want to. So we can come to the forearm. That might not be where we need to be. We might just come straight back up. You can let the head go heavy. You might even just lower the entire body to the floor. Find a cushion. And maybe just place the hands underneath the head. Making sure that the left hip is in line with the right. The belly button is pointing down to the floor. Relax the jaw, relax the face. Feel the warmth. And pigeon is a wonderful posture for easing the hips. And we hold a lot of emotional tension there. So sometimes in this posture, the body tells us we want to come out. Seeing if we can stay with it. Lovely. When you're ready, just starting to walk the hands back up. Come into our half pigeon. Just pausing there for a moment, lifting the chest. Melting the hips towards the floor. If you wanted to add on to this posture a little bit, particularly if you're doing a lot of running, you can come into a mermaid posture where you lift that back foot and gently pull the foot with the left hand. You're opening the body. Just be gentle on the knee. This is good for a hamstring stretch. Lovely. If we've come, let's just release very gently, placing the foot back on the floor. Now we are actually going to slide over onto the right side of the bottom and swing the leg forward. And I'm going to give you an option here. So you can either come to just cross-legged position, or we're going to come to shoestring legs, which means we're going to take this left leg, cross it over all of the way, and have the knees stacked on top of each other. Feet are just relaxed. You might find that the left bottom is just lifted ever so slightly. You could always grab a cushion, pop it under, try and keep the hips nice and even. This can feel quite intense on the hips. It might not serve you. Otherwise, come to your cross-legged. Find a nice long tall spine. Let the fingertips come to the floor. Soften the face and find the breath. We're going to bring the arms up to shoulder height just in front of us. We're going to move into eagle arms. Let's find some space in the shoulder blades. So we're going to take the right arm underneath the left, bend it up, bending the left, and then seeing where the hands come, so where the palms or backs of the hands come together. Lovely. Gently lifting the elbows up and away from the body. Closing the eyes and seeing if you can feel the breath. With each inhale, noticing the space between the shoulder blades. With each exhale, can you melt the shoulder blades away from each other? Lovely. Let's unwind the arms. Bring them down. Take a movement if you need to, or rest in stillness. Then we're going to find our way back to our pigeon posture. So we're going to send the left leg all the way back. Lift back up onto the hips. Plant the hands, push them into the ground, and then let's slide that right leg back. Come into our tabletop position. Wonderful. From here, we're going to just circle the hips round. Doesn't matter which direction, we're just going to make some nice big circles. Moving the energy, moving the heat. Keeping it fluid, changing direction. Lovely. Bringing it back to centre. Let's take that onto the other side. So you're going to slide the left knee up to the left wrist. And then start to work the left foot towards the right wrist. Might give it an extra little push with the hands. Slide the right leg back if you need that extra little bit of melting into the ground. And find even hips. Is the centre of the pelvis pulling down to the floor? When you're ready, maybe moving a little further down. Don't feel like you have to. If you need to stay lifted, then do. You can go down halfway, all the way. Resting here, finding the breath. Relax the jaw. The jaw and the hips are connected. If we relax one, we can also relax the other. Lovely. Wanting to inhale, push the body up, come back up to your half pigeon. Pausing there for a moment, sending the shoulder blades back and down. And then if you did on the other side, lifting that back leg. You don't need to take the hand round if you don't want to. Or you might take the right hand to meet that right foot and just give it a little pull. Nice and gentle. If you feel any twinging, then obviously just draw back. And then softly releasing, nice and slowly. We're going to slide onto the left side of the bottom and sweep that right leg forward. So again, you can find cross legs, or you're going to take that right leg all the way over. Takes a little bit of an adjustment to try to stack the knees on top of each other and pull the bottom down towards the ground. Finding tall body here. Fingertips to the floor. Let's bring the arms up to shoulder height just in front of us, and we're going to take eagle arms onto the other side. So this time left arm comes under the right. And then we bend the right arm, noticing if this feels a little different. And then pulling the elbows just slightly up and away. Finding the edge that feels really good. Soften the jaw. As you breathe in, feel the space between the shoulder blades. Yeah, slowly unwind. Lovely. Give the shoulders a little roll. And then this time we're simply just going to uncross the legs. Take them out nice and wide and just give them a little shake, little rub. Softly flex the toes towards the face. There's a little bend in the knees so we haven't sort of locked out the joints. Connect the sitting bones down and we're going to come to a forward fold. So you set your fingertips to the centre, just in front of you. Take a lovely deep inhale. And then as you exhale, just walk the hands forward. Now it might be just a couple of inches and we stay there. We might be able to go a little further. You might find that you can bring forearms to the floor. Find your edge, wherever that might be. And then let the head go heavy. We're easing tension out of the neck and the spine. We're not putting it in. So just let the head fall. And follow the breath using the inhale to just imagine a longer spine. And as you exhale, imagine a deeper fold. There's no force, we're not pushing ourselves into this posture. We're allowing gravity to do its work. Lovely, few more breaths there. And let's inhale, roll it up nice and steady. Give the legs a little hand by taking the hands under the thighs and pulling them up. You can have a little wiggle, little shake. And then we're going to sweep the legs round, come to a kneeling position. Again, if kneeling doesn't suit you and you can't stay here for a few minutes, then do stay on the sitting bones. Always welcome to get a cushion between the heels and the bottom, just to make everything a little bit more comfy. Finding that long, tall spine, there's that little engagement of the tummy just to keep us nice and upright. We're going to take the hands down and let's just take a few rolls of the shoulders, just up and back in your own time. Lovely. Fabulous. And we're going to come up onto the knees. So if you have come to the sitting bones, just join us here. Knees underneath the hips. And we're trying to really stack the hips on top of the knees. So there's a little push of the pelvis forward. We're going to take the right leg out just as far as it can go. Toes pointing forward. Let the right hand just caress that right thigh. We're going to inhale, left arm comes up. And as you exhale, take it over to the right into our gate posture. If this top arm is bothering you, do feel free to just let it come down. Rest on the waist or the hip. See if you can just open the side of the body and the ribs. Let the head go a little heavy if that feels okay. And let's inhale, just pull it gently up to centre. Step the knees back in and take it over to the other side. Making sure hips are stacked over the knees. Lovely tall body. Let's inhale. Lift that right arm. As you exhale, slide it down. Trying to keep the body in line with the legs so we're not leaning forward. Decompressing these ribs and the tummy, that particularly if we're doing a lot of sitting, can feel really squidged down. Lovely. Let's inhale, roll it back up. And exhale, bring it down. Back to the knees if that's okay, or back to the sitting bones. Finding that tall body. I'm going to come to Gomukhanathana, cow face pose. So we've warmed up the upper body. The shoulders are nice and juicy. So we're going to use that warmth. So let's take the right arm up and just softly bend the elbow. Let it hang down. Elbow's pointing up, hand is just working its way down. You could give it a little nudge to help. And then we're going to take the left hand round the back, seeing if we can take the fingertips to touch. Don't worry if it feels like they're miles away. Just find the edge of the posture. Take a little time to ease into it. And then close the eyes. Relax the jaw. Maybe even just a little smile to yourself. This is called cow face pose because you're supposed to have the serene face of a Hindu cow. Noticing what comes up for you. Relaxing both shoulders. Relaxing the hips towards the floor. Few more breaths, staying with it. And then let's ease it out nice and gently. Bringing the hands down. See if you can stay in stillness for just a couple of moments to feel what that's brought up in the body. And then do what comes naturally, a little roll, a little wrist wiggle before we move on to the other side. Let's take the left arm up, bending the elbow, letting the hand fall down. Again, do take the little nudges and adjustments that might just help. Chin is parallel with the ground as we sweep the right arm back. Noticing if this is a little easier or a little tougher. And again, settle in, close the eyes if they aren't already. Find the breath. Pausing here. Remembering to let the breath just come naturally in and out. Lovely. Let's start to ease our way out. Again, find a moment of stillness. And then roll the shoulders. Wiggle the wrists. We're going to slide ourselves off the hips and just bring the legs round. Give them a little wiggle if you need to. Flex the toes, just rotate the ankles. And then find the sitting bones on the floor, legs out front. We're going to come into a nice forward fold. So we're going to have the feet about hip distance apart, knees about hip distance. We're going to take the hands onto the thighs. Take an inhale, lift the heart. As you exhale, I want you to slide the hands down the legs. Try to just keep the back nice and straight. You might pause halfway. You might get the hands to the feet. Just see where the body wants to take you. Find the edge. The gaze is going to stay up, so we're looking maybe just over the toes. And we're trying to melt into this posture, so we're resisting the urge to pull or force. Let the head go heavy. Just for a few more breaths. A lovely way to make this a little bit more restorative is to take the arms under the legs and give your thighs a little hug. Might not feel great for everybody, really depends on your back. And let yourself just sort of go into the legs, holding yourself up. Releasing the jaw, letting the eyes be soft. Unthreading the arms if you've taken that variation. And then let's come out of it the way we came in. So we're going to inhale and slide back up. Get into the top, rolling the shoulders back and down. Fabulous. Let's bend the knees and just slide yourself a little forward so you've got plenty of mat behind you. So we're going to go down to the ground. We'll slide down just however you want to. So if you want to support yourself with your hands or hold onto the thighs, just going to roll it back nice and gently. Find a nice flat back on the floor. Gently pull the shoulder blades together. And then bring the knees up to the belly. Give yourself that little hug in. Hands can be at the thighs or the shins. A little rock from side to side. Maybe round in circles just to massage the back into the floor. And then we're going to place the feet down just as close to the bottom as you can manage. Feet and knees about hip distance apart. Take the arms to the sides of the body. Again, see if you can gently pull shoulder blades together. Face the palms up to the sky. And we're going to come into a bridge posture. And if you don't want to pause in bridge, you can come up and out of it as much as you like. So we're going to take an inhale. And then as we exhale, push into the floor. Start to lift the hips up as high as they will go. Coming into your bridge. Now you can stay here, like I said, you can always come down and then go back up. Keep it in a dynamic movement. If we're choosing to stay lifted, just taking your awareness to the knees, making sure they haven't fallen out or in. Engage the thighs. There's always the option to bring the hands under the body, interlace the fingers, and push the arms into the floor. Spreading the toes. Letting the heart just shine up and out. Couple more breaths. Then releasing the hands and rolling down vertebra by vertebra all the way to the ground. Pausing there before you move. Noticing that lovely long back. And then bringing the knees up for that little hug. Lovely. Now we're going to keep hold of our right knee and just let the left leg come down to the ground. I'm going to move into a reclined twist. Let the right arm come away so it can be in a wide position, a T position, just taking up some space. Take a long inhale through the nose. Exhale out through the mouth as you let the knee come across the body over to the left. Now it might come to the floor on the other side. It might not. Take the gaze in the opposite direction so you've got sort of a whole body twist, wringing out the spine. Resting the face, resting the eyes. And then bringing yourself back gently into center. Both knees come back. Gaze comes back. And then let's swap it over. So right leg extends out. Give that left knee a little hug in. Let the left arm fall away. Take a lovely long inhale through the nose. As you exhale, out through the mouth, over to the right. Gazing in the opposite direction. Noticing how this feels on this side. Is it different? Allowing everything to just relax. Just a few more breaths here. And then on an inhale, bringing yourself back up to center, knees towards the chest. You might even bring the head up towards the knees into a little ball, little rock from side to side. And then let yourself go. Body comes back down. We're still holding on to the knees for a moment. We're going to take the knees wide apart, letting them fall to either side. And then we're going to move this into happy baby. If happy baby doesn't serve you, simply stay here. We're opening the hips. Otherwise, you're going to take the hands to the feet. Gently bring the feet up as if they were standing on the ceiling. And we're trying to pull the knees to either side of the body. If the feet aren't accessible, but you still want to do happy baby, take the hands to the thighs, give them a little pull down. plenty of options. It's a beautifully open pose. You might even take a little rock from side to side. Really feel the joy in this posture. And bringing it to center, release the feet. Let the legs come out long, let the arms go up above the head. Take a big stretch. And then resting the arms down by the sides of the body, find a Shavasana position. Relax, pull a blanket over, pop a cushion under the head. Do whatever feels right for you right now. Even turn the lights out. And let yourself find a little bit of stillness, whatever that means to you. As you rest on the floor, allow the body to become heavy. Allow yourself to feel the weight of the head on the floor. Notice where the arms touch the ground. Notice where the legs touch the ground. Release all control of the breath and just notice that you feel that little breath in and out on the top of it. That cooler air coming in, and the warmer air going out. And see if you can notice sounds in and around the house, maybe even outside. The hum of traffic, people moving in the house. And don't let yourself be taken off by the sounds, just labelling them. That's a clock, that's a TV. Notice each one in turn. Slowly bringing the awareness of sounds closer and closer until you can notice the sound of your own breath. And allow your awareness to simply rest in your body, feeling the way the breath moves your chest and your belly. How your face feels, the softness of the forehead and the jaw. And simply rest. Let things be as they are, just as they are. Everything in its place. Let the rain fall on the roof and down into the gutters. Let the wind press its face up against the windows. Let the thunder bellow its name. In the midst of today's storm, there is you, at peace, at the centre of all things. In the world of the natural, nothing is improved by our doing. No redwood is bettered by becoming lumber, no rock concrete. The rivers of Yellowstone are best left untouched. Drop out of the relentless quest of more, better, and faster. When we try trying to change things, the inner beauty reveals itself. The sky shifts its hues in response. Hidden daffodils display their colours. The birdsong reveals its symphony. The trees shed their miracles, joy rises up from below as heaven descends from the clouds. And the racing mind finally slows down to walk hand in hand with the heart for eternity. One lifetime has many lives. Begin the one where everything, including you, is exactly as it is supposed to be. Om Nam Shivaya. Om Nam Shivaya. Om Nam Shivaya. Take a deep breath in through the nose and out through the mouth. In through the nose and out through the mouth. In through the nose, out through the mouth. In through the nose and stretch the arms up above the head. As you exhale out through the mouth, let your arms wiggle. The wrists rotate, the wrists move down to the sides of the body. Ankles move, toes move. Taking your time to roll over onto your right hand side and just pausing there for a moment. And then gently finding a seated position. Whichever works for you, cross-legged or legs out in front. Seeing if you can keep the eyes closed, face soft. Hands come to the knees and just cup the kneecaps. We're going to begin to just take little circles with the body, keeping the sitting bones rested on the floor. Very slow, very gentle movement. Making it a little bigger if that serves, or keeping it small. You could let the head nod from side to side as you move. You might make it even bigger and allow the shoulders to move forward and then back. Find a very natural movement. It comes easier than we think. moving the softness, the energy all around the body. If you feel like there's still some stuff that we don't want to take into the week ahead, we need to let it go. And then slowly making your way back to stillness in the center with a soft spine but sitting tall. We're just going to relax the right ear over to the right shoulder. Let the head go heavy. Seeing how far the head might relax down. Allow the shoulder blades to slide down the back. Bringing the head back to center. Let's take it over to the other side. Letting it be heavy, noticing if this side offers a little more resistance or a little more space. Let's bring it back to center. We're going to take the gaze to the right. Looking, almost as if we could look over that right shoulder. Pause in there for a little moment. And let's take it all the way around to the left. How does that feel? Bring it back to center. Take the palms together at the heart and just nod the head down. And allowing the mind to give way to the wisdom of the body and the heart. We have the week ahead of us. Make a choice now how it's going to be. How will you accept the week ahead? Thank yourself for this time. Thank your body. Namaste.